Welcome everybody to this live Connecting with Spirit. Just a quick sound check so I don't look stupid, speaking for half an hour like I've often done and not looked at the comments. Mark, we can't hear you. I think I've got everything switched on. Technology, help me. Oh Lord, help me, Lord. Sound is good. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks. Thank you, Tommy. Thanks, everybody. Welcome, everybody. So, if you're new to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel, Bajerski is spelled B-A-J-E-R-S-K-I. The J is pronounced as a Y, as my father would say, and he would get very angry if I say it's Bajerski. No, it's Bajerski. All right, Dad, we're in England now. So, yeah, Bajerski, apparently. I'd rather just be called Mark. That's nice. I've had lots of other names called at me through the years. Cheat, swindler, snake oil salesman. I like Mark best. Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. It really is. I've just said hello to Susie, my ex-wife. She just popped round. We had a nice chat. That was great. Worked on some crystals today. What did I work on today? Made the video today, actually, for Campo meteorite. Love that crystal. Love that. It's not a crystal. Yeah, I know. Just let me call it crystal, please. It's a meteorite. I know. But it's so much easier. Crystal, meteorite. So, what have I brought over? Oh yeah. So I might as well put these on. Gosh, excuse me, sorry. Set yourself up, Mr. Bajerski. We'll get into the conversation and then we'll get into the connecting to spirit. I'm going to wear a couple of crystals today. One is the trio. I'm going to couple it today with a tiger's eye. Just feels right. Why, Mark? I don't know. Just feels right. But you should know. Shelter. Bit higher up when we're working with spirit, a bit higher up, but probably better even higher, actually. Anyway, it's all right. It's cool. Feels all right. It starts its work. Today I'm using, Mr. Bajerski's oil. This is the Awakening oil. Fairly new to us, really. A few years old, I think, now. But fantastic. What is the Awakening oil? It's pine oil, basically. In and amongst all the other oils that I put into it. But yeah, pine oil, give it a try with a base oil. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3. So I normally go on the third eye and say the words, help me see the truth. I normally go behind my ears and say, help me hear the truth. My throat, let me speak the truth. And to the heart, let me feel the truth. Okay, this is just my mantra. You can do anything that you want, okay? It's always good to breathe correctly. Of course, as we've been sharing this for many years. 3 drops on the hand, rub together, breathe in through the nose, but breathe in this beautiful oil through the nose. 3 seconds. Oh my God, that's freaking amazing. Hold for 3 seconds. Blow out through the mouth for 3 seconds. What's he doing? It's called breathing, mate. Should try it sometime. Oh, that oil is freaking amazing. Sometimes I forget. Wow, that's a good eye. Even though I say so myself, just rub a little at the back. I don't know why, but it just feels good at the back. Just rub a little bit at the back. So I got my juice. That's 3/4 organic tangerine mixed with Panagua. I shall also fill up with water. Always good to drink. Get that beautiful body engine circulating with the right oils, so to speak. So yeah, I said my name's Mark Bajerski. If you're still here, it's because you are truly interested and you feel it in your heart that there's something to be said. You've seen me now acting like a clown, which is purpose. Most of the time is purpose. I do it on purpose because the right people will stay. Others will have gone now because they've judged me, which is fine. That means that the right energy is online now. The right people are here, and that's what we want. We truly don't need negative people on here causing issue and trouble, because it does cause a disrupt sometimes. It upsets people. Don't bother me, but it upsets people and then causes them to feel bad. If anybody ever comes onto any of my lives and starts saying anything negative, please, guys, be the stronger. Ignore. Don't waste your energy trying to send them love, because it will only get them more angry. Just leave them be. Just let them be. Let them get through what they're doing. If I can see there's somebody there, and I don't even know how to delete them, so I just leave them. But we pray in the way of love and the way our energy is, that we have nice people here who are genuinely interested in trying to connect to spirit. Probably one of the hardest things to teach, and that's probably why I've never actually made a course or never done anything like that online per se. Never said, okay, come to my course for 2 or 3 days, because it takes some time. It's for me anyway. I'm speaking of my own experience, and it takes practice. And eventually, it's like learning a language or learning how to drive a car. It becomes natural, and then the connection seems to be easier to connect to. It's a bit like weight training. If you weight train for 20 years and then you stop for a year, you go back again. It's easy to get back into it again rather than starting from scratch. So I think the one thing I noticed is when people came to me begging to connect to their family in the spirit world, I think that feeling of frustration and need to connect is that what stops us from connecting. So I actually, when I first started doing this work in circle nights, and Shirley said to me, we're going to connect to spirit now. I'm like, I wasn't kind of jumping with joy or like, oh my God, I'm going to get to speak to my mum. I just like, well, I wasn't convinced that we could do it, right? I think it's all in the imagination. And then I realized that I had been brainwashed by my religion. My religion teaches me that there's only one person who has a direct line to God, and that's the Pope, nobody else. And you can't speak to spirit, and if you do, it's probably because you're speaking to the devil or demonic entities. And that's purposely put there so that you don't have a connection and that you stay dumb, spiritually speaking, just the same as they won't feed you real food. They'll dumb you down with poisons. Same thing with spiritual. We're all attacked from every angle. So that said, my mindset was like, bullshit. This ain't going to work. Actually, it's a pretty good mindset. Actually, it's probably better if you think this isn't going to work than, oh, it's going to be amazing, because you don't want to get let down. I didn't want to get let down, so I wasn't bothered either way. So my mentor took us through what's called visualization. And it basically means that you have to believe in something that you're creating in your mind. So what you believe you're creating is actually the doorway to the creation that is already there. So when you think you're creating something, you just think it's an illusion of the mind, but actually it's the doorway to the spirit world. That's why they always say, what a vivid imagination. Oh my God, his imagination's crazy. It's deliberately dumbed down by the very people who know that that is the key to the connection of the spirit world. So I'm just going through this. Some of the things that I thought before I came on was most of us speak to, like, this is going to throw you off everywhere now, right? It's going to throw you off balance, but this is the truth. If I'm writing a book about this, the first thing I would write, the first chapter would be this: most of us already speak to spirit each day, and we don't have a clue we are doing it. Just think about that for a second. So I could back that up by saying that your consciousness is always connected to the home world, because your consciousness is simply a drop of the ocean, but you are connected to that ocean at any given moment. So you can connect to it at any moment, and you do. I've often made phrase to people walking on the streets talking to themselves, and I've often seen people laughing at those people who are talking to themselves. But when I started getting into the healing work and I started giving healing to people after a couple of years, I started seeing energy around people and started seeing that this energy is not the energy of the client. This is the energy of something else. It vibrates at a different frequency. It's a lot higher. You put your hand into it, you step anywhere near it, and all of a sudden you feel this inner peace. And then you start to realize that this is the energy of the spirit world. And sometimes that energy walks into you and there are no words. It's just a feeling of complete and utter, there are no words. It's just incredible. So when you start to see this energy, what does it look like? It's very difficult to explain energy and how I see it, but it's more about a feeling. But then sometimes you can see somebody's energy and think that's not their energy next to them, because you can see it's a different energy. So that's spirit. So a lot of the times when you laugh at people who are talking to themselves, they're actually talking to spirit, but it's not them as speaking, but they're speaking because they're connected to the consciousness. Consciousness is having a conversation. Your consciousness is speaking to the spirit world, and sometimes it comes out of your mouth. So that's why sometimes you start speaking to yourself and you don't know why, because your family is right by your side talking to your consciousness. Again, this is like, this guy's talking absolute nonsense. Well, okay, it's my truth, and this is what I know. So I do believe we all speak to spirit every day, and spirit world are always around and with us. And what I found most of all through my clients is, as soon as they sat down and all of a sudden we're like reading cards or we're doing healing, spirit would come. And there were times that I like, when was there any point that you thought of your mum or your grandma in spirit? Yeah. About 5 minutes after trying to get my head around what I'm doing here and why, all of a sudden I thought of my mum. And I'm like, wow, it was about 5 minutes. And I felt this overwhelming energy come into us. And I knew it was your mum. I could feel it was your mum. So I wrote these things down for 9 months. So that's why I said to you guys, there's a reason why I say certain things. It's not out of just saying it like most people who are on podcasters just regurgitate somebody else's genius, and then everybody claps for them, and they haven't got a clue what they're talking about, really. They've just regurgitated information. They don't really follow it. They don't really use that guideline. They just sound great. It's just another form of ego and fame and fortune. When I speak to you out of thousands of hours there. Just here, thousands of hours up the road where I worked, thousands of hours around the world, watching and seeing and working with clients, and like, wow, you just thought of your mum and she was there. So I take that away, sit down for 2 hours by my tree, and all of a sudden it's confirmed. Right, Mark writes it down. Soon as you think or you have a thought of your family, they're either there or they're coming. Because sometimes you just have a thought that of your mum. Why did you just think of your mum? because your consciousness is now talking to your mum, and your mum is very close. And that's why you think, oh, what's that feeling? Feels like my mum. I just thought of my mum. That's right, because your consciousness is speaking to your mum. So when you understand this, you realize that religion, the dark entities of this world, the psyops, the governments, realize what they needed to do is sever that understanding between your consciousness that actually speaks to the spirit world, that gives you all the right information, tells you not to walk down that road, tells you to be careful where you're going, gives you all the information that you need. They want to sever that. They know if you are in fully contact with your consciousness, if your consciousness is leading your body, you are a danger to them, because you don't make the mistakes, you don't fall for the bullshit. So I know I'm going off on one, but honestly, it's all relevant. It's all relevant to the conversation I'm having with you all, and it's so meaningful. It really is. So, you know, even if you didn't get anything from this today, one thing you can think about is it true? Could I just think about my mum and she's there, or my dad, or my sister, or my brother, or my grandma, or somebody that I've lost in the spirit world, and my friend, or even my pet? Can I like, if I sit here and think of, you know, Dennis or Daisy, and I think of them, they're instantly there. It's like a telephone line. It's a signal, and there is no space and time. So it doesn't take them 10 or 15 minutes to come. They're there in an instant. And what backs that up, which I realized it was backed up, is when Shirley read something out to me about a fireman that fell off a ladder and died for so many minutes and came back to life, and said that when he died, he saw his body and he moved up and he felt his family in spirit. Incredible. He just felt them there. As soon as he thought about his family, they were there. Soon as he thought that he'd never been to the Bahamas, he was in the Bahamas. So a thought takes you to where you are. So when you think about your family in the spirit world, it's a thought that absolutely manifests that very moment. That's my truth. So the reason why I don't do this often, and I don't, you know, do courses on it, is because each individual human being is different. And I went to many courses of many mediums that tried to, you know, share mediumship. And to be fair, it was always a waste of energy for me and a waste of time. It never felt right, always uncomfortable, something felt weird. The teachers always weren't very good at teaching. They got angry if you weren't on board with what they were saying, and it was just felt very dark to me. So I didn't go to that many, and I was always abused at them anyway. And I thought, why would you get abused by a teacher if he's got the answers? Strange. But anyway, I come to realize myself that, you know, I spent some time with a beautiful lady who wanted to learn how to connect to spirit. And I said, I don't teach it. And she says, please, let me come. Let's at least try. So instead of having a reading each week with her, we would try to connect to spirit. So what I'm going to do tonight is do what I did to help me connect to spirit, as Shirley shared with me and 5 of us in a room. So I guess I put a little bit of music on, and I hope that you've got a little bit of oil on you, and a little bit of, snake oil on you. Oh, it's getting brutal out there, folks. It's getting brutal out there. Yeah, snake oil. How's that then? How do you work that one out then? So yeah, and a crystal. And, you know, a crystal that you feel that you want to wear, nice energy around you. I've cleansed the room out earlier on, so it's good energy in this room. I'd like to put a little bit of music. All of these things are what I talked about in the last video. So if you haven't watched the last video on of the part 1, just go scroll back and you'll see it. After you've watched this, you might want to just watch part 1 and then watch part 2. Part 1 was about how to prepare yourself. So hopefully some of you tried the tips that I gave you, which helped me along my journey of connecting to spirit. So I'd just like to put some music on, if that's okay with you, Mr. B. Mr. B, slow down, breathe. Float music always does it for me. All right, guys. Well, try and get yourself as comfortable as possible, whether you lay down or whether you're sat in a seat. If you have a problem with your back, it's better laying down, as long as you can hear me. Today, we're going to connect to our family and spirit. And I want you to just go with this. You will find you'll battle with your mind. You'll find that your mind will get very upset and maybe start mocking you because of your program. That's what your mind's searching for, what you're doing, and your mind tries to figure out what you're doing, and then it'll come back at you with some mocking or something like that, which has always happened along your journey as a child. Just tell your mind to shut up and just say, this is just a bit of a laugh, just having a joke, just having a bit of a fun, you know. Don't take it too serious. Don't fight anything, just laugh at it. And that's the best way to step into this. Don't take it serious. Serious doesn't work, in my opinion. Light-hearted works, light energy. So we're just going to play. We're just going to do a little role play. So once you're comfortable, you've got your oils on. I haven't got any oils, don't matter. I didn't have any oils when I did it to start with. I haven't got any crystals. Don't worry, I didn't have any crystals. It's okay. It's just nice to have some. And if you haven't got them, it's not going to make any difference. Okay, so don't panic and worry about it. It's all fine. First of all, we're going to begin breathing, and we're going to do this, of course, with our eyes closed. Because as soon as our eyes close, our third eye opens. It's a natural thing. It actually does. Your senses open when your eyes close, like your hearing becomes stronger. And spiritually speaking, you are awakening the crown chakra. You're working the third eye, and it truly does make a difference. You see far more when your eyes are closed, and a lot of people just don't get it, but it's true. And the more you realize that, the more you close your eyes, and the more you close your eyes, the more you realize that. It's fabulous, really. But most people don't close their eyes; they keep their eyes open. I'd ask you to close your eyes now. And I'm going to close my eyes too. So it's a humbling moment that you're here today. From the bottom of my heart, I am humbled that you're here and you're taking the time to be here just for this short period of time to experience a bit of peace in your mind, a bit of joy in your heart, and just to be in a beautiful place where any of us can be. And you can always come back to this video and keep doing it, because practice always makes perfect. So we'll start with breathing. So we breathe in through the nose for 3 seconds. Hold your breath for 3 seconds. Release out through the mouth. Exhale 3 seconds. Hold your breath for 3 seconds. And repeat. Breathe in through the nose for 3 seconds. Hold your breath for 3 seconds. Exhale through the mouth, 3 seconds. Hold your breath for 3 seconds and repeat until I ask you to just breathe as you would normally breathe. And breathe as you would normally breathe. The tension in your body should be released. So starting from your little toes to your feet, just wiggle them around a little bit and feel the tension release. Feel the tension release as you come up to the legs, your knees. Release the tension. Nice and gently. Just move them. Same with your bum. Just release that tension. Your chest and your shoulders. And your head, just feel it relaxing and releasing any tensions. With your shoulder and your arms, your elbows, and now down to your beautiful fingers. Feel that relaxation. By relaxing that body of yours, it's easier to move freely from the body. Now always remember that your body is merely a vessel, that your true nature, your consciousness, the true source, the soul, can move freely in and out if you allow yourself to move freely in and out. So there is no need for permission. There is no need to try hard. Just simply, with your eyes closed, look at your body. How is your body? Is it sat up? Is it laying down? Now lift yourself up from your body. And your true self, which is pure love and energy, lift yourself out of your body and look down and look at the top of your head or your shoulders. Look at it as you lift up. Look at your body. Look at the room. And move up through the ceiling. Keep going up. Keep going through the sky. Your consciousness can move freely through any buildings and can fly and go anywhere. Just keep going up and look at the top of the building. Look at the roof. Look at now all the houses becoming smaller and smaller and smaller as you move through the air and through the clouds. Now you're in the clouds and you're moving through the clouds, and now you're in darkness with the stars all around you, and you're moving higher and higher to a plane where it's so bright that you cannot see, because it's so bright as you're getting closer and closer to a new level, which we call the spirit world. And now we enter into the spirit world, and we are now at a doorway. The doorway is beautiful. It's a wooden doorway. It has two doors with two handles. Open one of the doors with your handle open, and look, in front of you now is the most beautiful paradise. You're looking at a beautiful path. It's made of sand, so it's lovely and warm on your feet. You look around and you see the grass and the hills on both sides. You see the most beautiful flowers that you've ever seen before in your life. The grass and the flowers and the beautiful sky. Walk along the path. Feel the warmth of the sand. Feel the joy in your heart. Feel the energy of love and calmness and peace. Feel. Keep walking. And as you look up on the hill, there is an absolutely beautiful, huge oak tree. The size of the tree trunk is so big, you've never seen anything like it. So step off the sand and now put your feet onto this beautiful green grass and head towards this beautiful tree. As you get closer, you can see it's full of life inside the tree. There are birds and butterflies flying around. And it's so beautiful to see the leaves of this oak tree. And the tree trunk, as you get closer to it, you can even see the roots sticking from the ground. This tree is so old. And the closer you get, the closer you are to your family and spirit. So now that you're so close to it, you're trying to find somewhere to sit. Sit in between the roots, sit against the tree, but get yourself as comfortable as you can on the tree and as close to the tree trunk as possible. And now that you're sat comfortable, look up and see the branches of the trees, the little birds flying around in the trees. You can even see on the leaves little beautiful. What is that? It's red and black. It's a ladybird just walking along. Your vision is so clear that you can see everything in the tree. It's so beautiful. The smell of the grass, the freshly cut smell of grass, you can smell it. It feels so beautiful. And the healing of the tree is just the most beautiful healing energy you've ever felt. So now, my dear friends, you are in the position to be able to receive somebody that you love who left our world, and now you are in their world. And you are simply going to wait for them to come round the tree and sit with you. Don't want, don't need, whoever it is who decides to come and say hello, it is a blessing to us all. When they come, just sit with them and speak to them if you want, or hold them, give them a hug, anything. And when we've finished, I will let you know when it's time to go. So let's all now sit in peace and wait for a loved one to come round, whether it's an animal that we loved, whether it's a grandma, granddad, or some friend, or somebody that we've loved all our life. Let us see. So now that we've spent some time by the tree, some of us may have connected, some of us may have just been at peace at the tree. I'd like you now to smile, say your goodbyes, even if it's to the tree, and say you will be back again soon. And thank you for having us. And thank you to our family who did join us. Give them a hug. Stand up and let's wave goodbye as we walk along the grass with the joy in our hearts, walking towards the path of sand, waving goodbye with a smile on our face. Now we're onto the sand, beautiful warm sand, heading towards the two doors, the beautiful big gate that we open up now, and now we're in the light. And now we find ourselves falling down through this beautiful white light into the beautiful darkness with the beautiful stars around us as we're falling down lower, lower, lower. And we come to the top of the clouds and we go through the clouds. And through the clouds now we see all the houses on planet Earth. And we're drawing closer and closer and closer to where we live. We see the top of the roof of where we live, and we come through the roof, and now we see our body and fall into the body that belongs to us while we're here. And now we reconnect to our body and begin to move our arms and our legs and move a little bit, move your head. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I normally have a piece of paper and a pen to write down what was given to me while I was there, any thoughts and feelings. I was very lucky to have Leslie there. Leslie was a friend that I grew up with, and she passed away less than a year ago. That was a surprise that she came round. Also had Lena, who came through, was a friend of my mum's, and it was nice to see them both. There was no real message of what I should and shouldn't do. There never seems to be. There was never any try this path, do that. But it was just a hello and a recognition of each other and the time that we spent together. Joy of being in the spirit world after the body giving up to cancer. That was Leslie. And the smile and the laugh and the joy that I remember. The cheekiness, that was lovely. Also felt a lot of inner peace. Lena came through with a few little messages which were very personal, and they have been resolved in my mind, and that was really lovely to hear. So there's not really anything I would write down other than it was just a lovely experience for me to have them there. Although it was very short and brief with Lena, Leslie was there for the full duration until I said to you, okay, it's time to go. And the joy I felt from that, I can feel there's a lot of, without even realizing, actually, there's a lot of weight lifted from my heart. One, because I wasn't there at Leslie's funeral, which kind of played on me a little bit, which is gone. And that always happens when spirit comes through. They say, it's never. It's not, it's like, come on, Mark, it's nothing to do with being there. It's the time that we spent together. And do you remember the fun things every time? It's always, do you remember the happy times? It's always that. It's never negative. Lena came through with, she explained certain things, why she went through that, and then explained something about her daughter, which it's related to karma, but not as we know it. So that's fascinating, and I'll ponder on that a little bit. I wanted to share that with you because it was personal. I wanted to share it with you to say that I don't hold back on anything. There is no kind of, I don't really have any secrets. I am an open book. I share everything with you and what I've been through. I don't know if anybody got anything, but I'd done this. The first time I did this in Circle is when I met my mum, and it was a joy to hold my mum. When I held her, I had this moment of what can only be called euphoria. It was so beautiful. The only thing I can relate to when I've read is the Buddha, and when he went through the stages of everything and to reach nirvana. It only happened for a brief few seconds, but it was something that stayed with me for the rest of my life. And I realized at that moment that we can reach a kind of enlightenment. That's what that is. Enlightenment isn't knowing things, it's feeling things. So I didn't expect it this time. I didn't get it while I was with Leslie, but it doesn't matter, because each time we move to that realm through our thoughts, it's always a different feeling. It's always a different, and from today onwards, there might be something that I look back on through those feelings, and it will trigger something that will help me either release or digest in a spiritual manner that helps me along my journey. I never ever ask for anything. I never say to them, tell me something. I never say to the spirit world, what should I do now? Because I know that my path is my path. And if there is a message, if there's something that they need to share with me, then they'll share it. And if they didn't, then it means I didn't need a message. And that's a beautiful thing. Those who need, those who crave, those who are desperate are the ones that never really receive the truth. Truth, though, it's only given in a natural form. It's never forced. It's never pushed. It's never, it's just a natural way. So it is something personal. And I'm sorry if you didn't get anything. But what I am here today to say is that this is the way it helped me. You can go to 1,000 different teachers and use 1,000 different methods. Whatever method works for you is your method. I am not here to say that everything that I do is the right way. I've never said that. I just share with you what worked for me. And that's the best I can do. So that is how I do it. That's the truth. You can step into a room if you're uncomfortable with the fact that you have to go through the clouds, and you can easily just close your eyes and step into a room, or visualize a chair in front of you and then just wait and see who comes to the chair, sits down. You can just sit anywhere and just wait for you can sit in your own room and visualize yourself come out of your body, look at yourself and wait till somebody comes in the room. Every way is the right way, as long as it works for you. So if you're lucky enough to, let's say, Jesus Christ, I felt somebody come round, I felt somebody there, it's a blessing and well done. But that doesn't mean that you're going to get it right all the time. It's not going to happen all the time. So don't expect anything. And, the lady that I connected to in the healing room, she found it a lot easier to connect to a family. Instead of me doing readings, we just held hands. I held her hands and I took her through the same visualization. And it took, 3 or 4 months. And one day she just broke down in tears as I had my hands on her. And I just went quiet and just left it like that. She cried for about an hour and then we stopped. So I was late for my next client. And then she just spurted out that she felt, I'm not going to say who, but somebody in a life that it was so beautiful and personal. And I never saw her again. That was the last time. But because whatever she needed, it was done at that moment. So she didn't need it. She didn't need to go all the time. And I find that the same thing. I mean, if I'm meant to be in the spirit world, what's the point, what's the point coming here? I've got to experience this world. But sometimes it's nice to say hello. And sometimes it's lovely for spirit to just come into our energy. And sometimes we don't need to go through all of those stages. Those stages are only there to bring you to a level of a different awareness, a different feeling, to get away from the nonsense and the distractions. But you can do it anywhere, anytime. I can sit here and do the same thing just by being here and feeling my family and spirit next to me. So whatever works for you, that's why I don't do workshops on this, because I don't have the answer. I just know what's helped me along my journey. And the part one is all the oils, incense, and the way we think. The way we think in the part one, which I did, if you look back on that, really does help us for the first few days, because, we're open to it. And I'm open to it every day. Open being that if you want to come at any given moment, I'm here. If you don't, no problem. So it's not a race. It's not I'm the best connector. It's just knowing that our family and spirit is always there. And if they've got something to say, trust me, they'll say it. And it's up to us to be aware of what they're saying. And these little exercises, what we do, which some people are thinking nonsense, are actually same as going weight training, to build up a muscle, build up the energy to be able to connect to your family and spirit. And that's the way I do it. So there you go. That's it. Any questions, I guess, if you've got any questions. Well, I can't. My flipping thingamy isn't working, so I can't scroll. Yeah, I can't scroll now because I'm just. Yeah, not my fault. Not my fault. So I'll just look at these and see what messages. Somebody said hi. Hiya. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, thank yourself. Well done. I find it so hard to visualization. The reason why is because you've got too much going on up here. That's why if you watch the first video that I made a couple of weeks ago, that is an exercise that helps you to get to this stage, to be able to visualize. As soon as I had the thought of my family, was that then coming through? My understanding, my truth is that as soon as I think of my mum, like on a day-to-day basis, when I'm just no reason, like my mum will just come, I'll just feel my mum or think about my mum. That's when I know 100% she's there, because I wasn't thinking about her. I was doing something else and she just came. So like, okay, my mum's here, right? When you are visualizing, trying to do that, okay, I want my mum to come through. I want my mum to come through. I don't know, guys, because this need of wanting is something that I found was my struggle to get to where I needed to be. So when I guide you to a tree, whoever comes through, and if nobody comes through, they don't come through. That means you're not pushing, you're not forcing, you're not asking, you're not wanting. Whoever's around, whoever wants to come through. And that's normally because there's a reason that they're coming through. And if they're not coming through, there's no problem. There's nothing to come through for. Sometimes they just come to visit us to say hello, and like, why aren't they coming? Why aren't they coming? It doesn't work like that. The spirit world doesn't go on demand. It doesn't go on, these are your rules. This is what you should and shouldn't do. The spirit world doesn't act in that energy. It is a pure flow that has no rules. It has no commandments. It's above all of that energy. So when we're in this dense, hollow illusion of a world, and we demand or we get upset and it's like, This is our world. This is our world. This is what we're here to try and evolve from. But it's hard for a lot of people. That's why, again, I don't really do this much, because I think it's very personal. But I will end on this lovely note. Most of us speak to spirit each day and don't have a clue that we are doing it. So I'll leave you on that note. Maybe some people will digest that like no one has the power over you, or you might just say it and not really understand that. But understanding what I've just said is very, very powerful. Yeah, meeting yourself in meditation is exactly that, what I'm talking about, because we don't really meet ourselves. We're too busy in the brain. We're too busy disconnected. So when you meditate, you go to the source, you go to the consciousness, you go to the soul of who you are, not the body. And when you are complete, when you are actually fully in the energy of you, and the rest of the energy is just letting go of the body and going to your consciousness, and you're fully in the consciousness. That's kind of like what I tried to do just then. Tried to kind of take you away from the body. But when people say I can't do it, I'm thinking that's because your body, your mind, has got more power in control of your consciousness, and you can't come out of that unless you let it go. That's why so many people feel their mother in the spirit world, or their grandma, or whatever, while a healing session takes place, because the healer clears the mind, clears the heart, clears the body of all negative energy and thought. So you're one with your consciousness. There's no need to go to your mind. There's no need to go to your heart or your stomach. There's no need to go anywhere. There's no need to speak. There's no need to say anything. You just are at peace. You're in that peace place. And in that peace place is where you are in your true consciousness. Food for thought, and practice makes perfect. I am wishing you all a lovely day. Take care of yourselves, guys, and thanks so much. Please bear in mind as well that for mattbayerski.com, you can get the oils and incense and all crystals, and for www.pehacademy.com, you can learn how to heal. It's a 4-day course, and there's also another course that you can learn how to work with crystals. So those two are beautiful places to go, which obviously, of course, I'm going to recommend, because everything on mattbayerski.com is what I use to help me attune and work with spirit. So the tarot course is amazing. It helps you more attuned, and all of these things, learning 4 days healing, helps you attune, helps you understand everything that is so right in that moment. And when you look outside, you realize everything out there is so wrong. It's just an illusion. Every woman now is like this. And it's like you're watching them and they're in bubbles. They're just in a bubble. They're in their own illusion. Nobody else matters. Nothing matters. The world doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how beautiful anything is out there. It's just me. And we have to get away from that, because that's pulling you into such a dark place. It's pulling you into the worst place you can be. Just bear that in mind. We have to break free from the phone, and we have to step out, and we have to start living again. Otherwise, we will be trapped in an AI technology that will keep us even more trapped from our consciousness. I'm wishing you a lovely day. Take care, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks. Bye.